Thank you very much. A question from one member of our group. He says that his mind is very restless and he cannot concentrate on Buddha and also on Anapana. So he is asking if he can choose another object for meditation, like from 38 objects of meditation, or maybe you can recommend some other object because his practice is not developing, he cannot concentrate.
It's because he doesn't have enough mindfulness yet. So he has to develop more mindfulness before he meditates. So you have to start from the beginning. As soon as you wake up, start be mindful. You can use the mantra Bhutto Bhutto to be mindful, or you can pay attention to what you do. When you're taking a bath, just pay attention to you're taking a bath. If you're brushing your teeth, combing your hair, just pay attention to what you do. Every step, every movement of your body, you have to pay attention to it. Focus, watch it. Don't let your mind go think about other things. If you can do this continuously, then when you meditate, your mind will be calm very easily.
And when we practice mindfulness, do we sometimes also practice Anapana during, for example, when we are eating, or we only observe our body functions?
Observe the body. Anapanasati is only when you're sitting, when you're meditating.
We heard that when the practice is developing, then you should put your attention in this area of the heart and observe the heart. Is it the right way to practice?
It depends. See, when you have mindfulness, and then you keep watching your breath. So just keep watching your breath. Don't go to other places. Some people feel that when they meditate, they can feel more in the middle. They can feel the breath more in the heart. So they switch from the tip of the nose towards the heart, the breath instead. So, but I generally recommend just stay with the one point when you start. If you watch at the tip of your nose, keep watching at the tip of your nose. Don't change position.
A question also from one member of our group. Is it possible observing 5 precepts still become sotapanna? For example, still you have a wife and you have sexual relations with your wife, but still you can develop in your practice, or it is necessary to take 8 precepts to become sotapanna?
See, in order for you to become a sotapanna, you have to have the wisdom to see that the body is not you, that the body is changing all the time. It will get old, get sick, and die. And you cannot stop it from happening. And you're willing to let go. If you can do this, that doesn't matter whether you have 5 precepts or not, 8 precepts or not. If you can let go of your attachment to your body, you can become a sotapanna. But if you cannot let go, it means your mind have strong attachment. So you need to develop samadhi to weaken the attachment. When you practice samadhi, you will temporarily separate the body from the mind. You will detach the mind from the body temporarily. So once you can do this, then when you use wisdom to teach you that to let go of your body, you will be able to let go. But if you cannot let go, it means you need to meditate. In order to meditate, you need to keep the 8 precepts. Because if you don't keep the 8 precepts, you won't have enough time to meditate. You want to meditate all day and all night, except when the time you go to sleep. You don't want to spend time on other sensual activities, like watching TV, eating or drinking whenever you want. You want to curb or stop this activity so that you will use the time for meditation activity, mindfulness activity. So yes, if you see with wisdom that the body is not you, but you cannot stop, you're still attached to it, then you have to go practice meditation. And to practice meditation, then you have to go to a retreat, meditation retreat. And meditation retreat usually requires you to keep the 8 precepts. Okay.
Okay. And we wanted to ask, tomorrow is Upasata Day, I think. What is the good way to practice? We heard that it's good to fast, so we decided to fast one day and maybe meditate the whole night. Is it the good way to practice?
Well, practicing has many different levels. Beginning level, middle level, advanced level. So the practice varies from the practitioner themselves. But generally speaking, on Uposatha Day, it means the day that you don't work, you stop working, and then concentrate your practice instead. So it's up to you how much you want to practice, how much you want to give dana, spend for charity, how much precept you want to keep, 5 or 8 precepts, how much time you want to spend on meditation. This is up to you. It depends on your strength, your ability to do. So it varies from people to people. Some people find that on Uposatha Day, they can keep the 8 precepts and don't eat after midday. Some people find that they can eat once a day. So they eat in the morning, and once they finish eating, they don't eat anymore. Some people find they can not eat at all and help their practice, so they don't eat. So it varies from individual, not a standard rule for everybody.
And meditation the whole night is useful, or better at night not meditate?
Meditation is usually a combination of mindfulness and meditation. When you sit, we call meditation. When you're not sitting, when you're walking with mindfulness, doing things with mindfulness, that's mindfulness. This is what you want to do all night, all day, during Uposatha Day. The only time you don't practice is when you sleep.
One question is it possible to use some other means to develop samadhi? For example, to use some balm, to put it here, to feel anapana better, than to concentrate better, but you use some medicine or something to apply here, or we should rely only on our body without using any external means?
You should not rely on external source, because sometimes you might not be able to have it, then what happens? Even cushion, you shouldn't use cushion when you meditate. Because if you go to some place where you cannot have cushion, then you won't be able to meditate. You should be able to meditate without any external support, any external help.
Thank you. The question is, when I practice mindfulness, when I'm not thinking, so I'm trying only to observe body or do anapana, lots of fear comes up, like fear because I'm losing control, that I'm not thinking, and then like something bad may happen, or I can remember something, because the mind used to have control, and when we are not thinking, it becomes very anxious, and it's hard to observe. What is the way to work with fear?
I think using mantra or chanting is the best way to deal with it for the beginner. Just chant some verses, chant until the fear disappears. Or recite the mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. Or you can use Bhutto, Dhammo, Sangho. Just keep chanting, keep reciting until the fear disappears.
Is it maybe possible, when you have done already some bad karma, still correct the consequences, like do some good deeds to prevent these consequences from happening? Or there is no way to avoid your past karma?
No, past karma is something that will happen to you sooner or later. So the best way is to be prepared for it, be ready for it, to accept the consequence of your bad karma. You cannot run away from it. Even if you become a noble disciple, you can still have bad karma.
But for example, if a person was fishing before, then he doesn't fish anymore, but he buys fish and he lets this save lives. So put the fish in the water. Still, it doesn't prevent his old karma.
No, you cannot erase the bad karma that you did in the past. You can decrease by not doing more of it.
And if you have done something, one girl from our group asks, and then you feel like, I'm sorry that I have done it, still the karma will not diminish.
No, it will teach you to remind yourself not to do the same thing again.
What is the right way to observe mind in mind, like in Satipatthana Sutta, observe mental objects and mind?
That's an advanced level for people who can already let go of their attachment to the body and feelings. And then they will have enough mindfulness and wisdom to be able to observe the mind. So don't worry about it now. Worry about your body first. Observe your body and let go of your attachment to your body first. Then let go of your feelings. Then after that, then you will be able to watch your mind and let go of your attachment to the mind.
So before the anagami level, we should not work with mind, we work only with body.
No. It's like if you haven't have a bachelor degree, don't go and study a master degree. You cannot do. It's beyond your reach.
If there is some attachment to good deeds, for example, a person is doing charity, but if he is giving more money, he feels very good. If he can give only less money, or he decides to give less money, he feels like very bad. It's kind of reaction still, craving and aversion, but he is doing good deed. How to avoid it? Because he feels like that there is some conditioning happening, like I must give dana, otherwise I'm a bad person.
No, you give because you have the extra money and you don't know what to do with it. You have to keep the money that you need to maintain your life, your body. But anything extra, if you give away, you'll feel good. If you feel bad, it means you still have attachment toward that money. You don't want to give. But you're forced to give because you believe that giving is good for you. But you haven't yet overcome your attachment to that money.
One person is asking, when I'm doing anapana, some part of my attention is in my eyes, like the eyes are closed, but I'm looking to the light through eyes, and in this way she can concentrate better. Is it the right way to practice, or we should concentrate on anapana only?
It means your mindfulness is not strong enough to concentrate. So maybe you might have to do some chanting first, or do some mantra first, until your mind become more mindful and calmer. Then you can observe the breath.
Thank you. And one woman is asking, can we understand, looking at the person and how he or she lives, if she has more good karma or bad karma? Because she is doing good karma now, but she is afraid to go to hell. She doesn't know how to check if she has lots of bad karma. How can we understand from this life?
You have to have psychic power to be ability to see where your mind will go after that. So if you don't, you just have to try to do as much good karma as you can, and do as little bad karma as you can. Because when you die, it's the good and the bad karma that will come and take your mind. If the good karma is stronger, the good karma will take you to heaven. If the bad karma is stronger, it will take you to hell.
And where is the storage of karma? Like when chitta takes a new body, chitta brings karma with it, or where the karma is applied when rebirth is happening?
When we take birth as a human being, it means that the balance of the good and bad karma are equal. So the good karma cannot send you to heaven, the bad karma cannot send you to hell. So then you are in a neutral, that means you are in a human realm. So you're waiting to get a human body.
So the chitta is carrying karma with it?
Yeah, it doesn't eliminate all of them yet. It just fit. Sometimes you have 60 good and 40 bad. And when you drop down to 40 and 40, then you become a human being.
Он сказал, что когда мы не сидим, то нужно наблюдать тело, как это правильно делать со вдохом, все вибрацию во всем теле.
Когда мы не сидим. She's asking, when we are not doing formal meditation, sitting meditation, we should observe the body. It means like when we are breathing in, we observe all the body, or what is the proper way of observing the body when we are not sitting, just doing something?
Just watching what you do. Pay attention to what you do. Every movement of your movement, walking, standing, sitting, or lying down, eating, taking a shower, washing your clothes, washing your dishes. Just pay attention to what you do.
Buddha says that we need to overcome the ocean of suffering. Does it mean that we need to understand all the suffering that exists and understand that it is the nature of it is illusion?
When you practice, you eliminate one at a time. Whichever one comes up first, you get rid of it first. If you are not happy, you're sad because of something, you have to get rid of that. And then eventually, all the suffering will eventually be gotten rid of, eventually. But you don't do all of them at the same time. You do suffering with the body first, then you do suffering with the feeling, then you do suffering with the mind. There are different levels of suffering.
Is it a good practice to work with your conditioning? When you are used to do things in certain way, just try to do it in the opposite way. For example, like do something that is not habitual to you, so that mind doesn't become more conditioned.
It depends on what you do, whether it's good or bad. If it's good, don't give up. If it's bad, then you should change. Give up the bad action and replace with good action. Like if you used to drink, stop drinking. Drink water instead. Every time you want to drink alcohol, you drink water instead. This is changing the habit.
Is there any difference between Arahant and Buddha in terms of mind, or it is like the same level?
Same level. The difference is that the Buddha discovered the truth himself, became an Arahant himself. While the Arahant depends on the teaching of the Buddha to become Arahant. But once they reach Nibbana, it's the same thing.
And I think we have the last question today. Can art help society in a good way? Like, for example, if you are going on the Buddhist way and you practice meditation, but you also want to benefit society, like writing some works of art or creating music, is it just distraction from the path? Or it is also good to help the people in this way, but also practice meditation?
It depends on which level of practice you're in. If you're still beginner, you practice dana, then you can do this. You can use art and help other people. Maybe you paint and then you sell the artwork and then spend the money on the poor people. This is dana or charity level. But once you start to meditate, then you should not use this activity anymore. Concentrate only on meditation until you become enlightened. And after you become enlightened, then you use your knowledge from enlightenment to teach other people.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I hope you enjoy your stay here and enjoy your questions. There's another day tomorrow. If you still have any more questions, you can ask me.
Yes, every evening I translate your answers and we discuss. I think we get more questions tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
All right. You can start asking your question.
Thank you very much. The first question is, what to do when you feel such a strong emotion that you cannot meditate, you cannot do even anapana because emotion takes hold on you. How to come back to practice from this kind of state?
If you can recite the mantra, just keep reciting the mantra. Bhutto, 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 bhutto. And don't pay attention to your emotion. If you stick with your bhutto for a while, your emotion will eventually subside and disappear. Keep reciting. It might take a while, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. Just keep reciting Bhutto. You can do it in any posture. You can do sitting down, walking, standing. Just say Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto all the time. Try not to think. When you think, you create emotions. When you stop thinking, the emotion will disappear. But you have to be patient and you have to be persistent. You have to keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto.
And if we do like Anapana, it doesn't help to with emotions.
This is when your mind is calm enough to do Anapanasati. If your mind is not calm, then you cannot do it.
Second question. If a very close person dies and you feel lots of sorrow, how to cope with this kind of state and how to help other people from the family?
Well, if you know the truth, then you say nobody dies. The body is not you. You're not the body. The body is like a telephone. You, the user of the telephone. When the telephone breaks down, you don't die. You don't die with the telephone. You just change a new phone. So when a person dies, he just changed a new body. That's all. It's like doing transplant the whole body to a new body. The old body is not good already. It's old and it cannot do anything. So you throw away, like you throw away the old phone and buy a new phone.
Thank you very much. When a person dies and he is reborn in heaven or hell, can he come to help his relatives? Because some people, they think that their deceased mother or grandmother, they come to help, or it's not possible.
Not possible, because you cannot contact them.
When you feel lots of solitude, how to work with it? Like you feel abandoned and disconnected from other people.
When you are alone and you feel blue, you feel sad, lonely, that's because your mind wants to have company. So you have to meditate to calm your desire for having company. And when you can calm your mind, calm your desire, then the feeling of loneliness will disappear.
So this kind of desire for company, is it also defilement?
That's right. It's craving, another type of craving.
One friend, he couldn't come here, but he listens to our recordings, and he asked, when we asked you about the disease, you said it's better not to interfere if we can just to observe how it goes in a natural way. And he is asking about alcoholism when you drink. He says it's also a disease, but also it's breaking of Shila. So what is the advice? Should we also observe it if we have alcoholism, or how to behave?
As long as you don't drink again, then just observe it. Then the old habit will eventually disappear. Every time you want to drink, you don't drink. You resist your desire to drink. Stop drinking, that's what it is. If you cannot stop, that means your mind is weak. Your mindfulness is not strong enough. So you have to develop mindfulness by Bhutto, Bhutto, by meditation. And when you can stop your desire to drink, then eventually you can stop drinking.
Another question is also about addiction. Addiction to cell phone, like some people like scrolling videos and photos, and they cannot stop. They understand it's harmful, but it's very hard to stop.
The same way like addicting to alcohol, to cigarettes. They use this thing as a refuge for them. They need something to keep them happy. So they rely on some other thing. But they are all bad because they are not reliable. Sometimes you can have them, sometimes you don't have them. And sometimes after you see them for a while, you can get bored. So it's not a good form of escape. The best form of escape is to meditate. So learn to meditate, learn to recite Bhutto, Bhutto. and eventually you'll be able to stop this addiction.
Thank you very much. Is it necessary to go out of your comfort zone to practice meditation? We were reading the biography of Ajahn yesterday, and he stressed that it's very important to go to dangerous forests where wild animals come. So should we not practice in comfortable environments? Should we look for some dangerous places for our practice to develop?
It depends on your ability to practice. As you have more ability to practice, you want to increase the discomfort zone. Because when you can live with the discomfort, you win. See? If you live with the comfort zone, then when you have to face that discomfort, you might not be able to handle it. So eventually you want to increase your discomfort zone until you can live with any type of comfort or discomfort. It's easy to practice when you're in the comfort zone, but it will be harder to practice when you're in the discomfort zone. But if you can do it, then you will be better off, because then you will not be affected by the discomfort.
Thanks a lot. And if you want to practice in the forest, could you give us some advice? Like, we want to try meditating in the forest someday, but we don't know much about Thai forests. Is it dangerous for lay people just to go and meditate?
Well, usually you first have to go to a forest monastery and practice in the forest monastery, which it is more or less still safe and still under control. But if you go outside into the wild forest, there are things that you might not be able to control. But then it depends on how much you want to practice. If you want to practice giving up your life, then you can go into the forest that you cannot control and accept if you should die, you are willing to die. But when you're starting and you're not ready yet, then you should have a safe forest to practice with. The reason why we need forest because it's quiet. It's far away from distraction. It can make your meditation easy. But if you practice in places like here where there are people and sound and noises, it can be distraction. So sometimes you want to go into a place where there are no distractions to your practice. But if you want to practice at the highest level by achieving the different level of enlightenment, then you might have to go into the danger zone to prove your ability to deal with the dangerous situation, such as death or sickness.
Thank you very much. One person is asking, when he is doing sitting meditation, after 20 minutes he has very stable concentration, but after 40-50 minutes he has pain in his knees and in his back, and his heart starts to beat very fast. So he is asking for your advice whether he should change posture or whether it is better to investigate pain when it arises.
When you have pain, there are two methods of dealing with pain. You can use the mantra, mindfulness. It means that your mindfulness has weakened, so you need to replenish your mindfulness by reciting the mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. If you just keep reciting and not paying attention to the pain, then your mind can become calm and can live with the pain. This is the first method. The second method is like you ask, investigating pain. You have to see the pain is like a natural phenomenon, like the weather, like the rain, the sun, the snow. You cannot stop them, right? You cannot control them. But you can learn to live with them. You can live with the snow, you can live with the rain, you can live with the heat by staying calm. So teach your mind that the pain is anicca, is a natural phenomenon that is not under our control. They come and go like the snow, they come and go. But we can learn to live with it by just keeping our mind calm. And if our mind is not calm and try to react, then we use the mantra to stop it from reacting.
He says that when he feels pain, his concentration is very bad. So is it better like to change posture to develop concentration, or it's better to investigate pain even when you don't have good concentration?
If you change position, you are starting from zero again. If you want to continue, then you must not change position. But you have to increase your concentration, increase your mindfulness by reciting the mantra.
Thank you very much. And also a question, this person says he got to know the practice of meditation, practicing Vipassana in Goenkaji tradition. And now he wants to go deeper, so that's why he came here and he's studying Dhamma. And he is asking, what do you think about retreat centers for lay people that are opening everywhere in the world? Because some people think it is just like fast food. It is not the real Buddha's teaching. It is somehow falsified, like not real, because it's made more comfortable for people.
Can you repeat the final sentences?
He says that now many retreat centers are opening in different Western countries.
Right.
They say you can come and practice Buddhism, but they create very comfortable conditions. And he suspects that maybe it is a bit not the true teaching of Buddha. So what do you think about this kind of retreat centers? Or it's better to come here, for example, and live in the monasteries?
Well, like I said, people have different ability to deal with the discomfort. So sometimes when they are weak, they need a more comfortable zone to practice with. And as they improve in their mindfulness and mental strength, then they can move to a more discomfort zone later on. But if you can practice in a discomfort zone right away, then you go ahead and do it. It depends on your ability.
A question. When you always feel the fear to make a mistake, like you have, since you were a child, you feel like there was some mistake that was made in the past, and now this feeling causes to look for different situations that might support this feeling, like where was the mistake done. So always the feeling of like Sanya is looking where the mistake is done, like this is not right, this is not right. How to work with Sanya that is trying to not to rejoice, but always trying to judge you, criticize you. How can we change it?
You should look at mistake as a blessing, not as a curse. Because you have to learn from your mistakes. So you should look mistake as a lesson, a teacher. Every time you do mistake, then you know, oh, this is not the right way to do it. So then you won't repeat the same mistake again. No one is perfect. You have to. The reason why people are afraid of mistake is because they want to be perfect, and that's not possible when you are still a noble, when you're still an ordinary person. If you are an enlightened person, then you can be perfect. So when you're starting, you are still an ordinary person. You should not expect perfection. You should expect mistakes, because you will learn from your mistakes. So you should look at mistake as a blessing, not a curse. And you should be thankful every time you do some mistakes. Then you say, oh, this is not the right way to do it. I'll remember it and I won't do it again.
Sometimes it's difficult to understand if it is right or wrong. Like you think that you're doing good thing, but your mind says, but there can be a mistake, and you cannot understand if it's only like very not the Sanya that is judging, or it's real. How to understand what is right, what is wrong. If it is not breaking Shila, but for example, you give donation and your mind says, no, it's like too small amount, you need to give more, and it is a mistake, but it's not breaking Shila.
If you don't know whether it's right or wrong, then don't do it.
Okay.
Until you know whether it's right or wrong, then do it. If you're not sure, don't do it. Very simple.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, one person is asking how to understand what leads you to enlightenment and what leads you on the wrong path.
Your ability to know the truth from the false. Your ability to separate the truth from the false.
And this ability is developing when we practice meditation.
By going, meditation and go through different experiences. Sometimes you get dukkha, sometimes you get happiness. So if you get dukkha, then this is wrong. If you get happiness, then this is right. So you learn by trial and error. Like the Buddha, before he could become enlightened, he has to do some trial and error. And eventually he discovered the right way to become enlightened. So don't be afraid if you do something wrong. Like I said, when you do something wrong, it tells you that you're not going in the right direction. So don't go in that direction. Go to a different direction.
One person is asking, what is the most important in life? Is there anything that is more important than enlightenment? And if not, is there any meaning in lay life?
In real life, in lay life, or in the physical life, there is no meaning at all. It's just suffering. When we have this physical life, we suffer from birth to death. So our goal is to stop this physical life and live a spiritual life. Live like the Buddha and his noble disciple in Nibbana.
If a person becomes Arahant but he wants to be reborn just to help other people with advice, is it possible or it is not possible for Arahant to be reborn again?
Not possible, because an Arahant doesn't want to be reborn. If he wants to be reborn, he's not an Arahant.
Okay. The question is, we were talking yesterday and the day before yesterday that we need to purify our chitta, but why does it happen that chitta becomes impure? And if we make our chitta pure, is it possible that later it will become impure again?
No, if it's pure by wisdom, it will never be impure again. Because the cause of our impurity is our delusion, our lack of wisdom. Once we have wisdom, we know what causes the impurity, then we will not cause the impurity to arise again.
But
like before, we believe the earth is flat, right? Everybody in ancient time believed the earth is flat. And eventually scientists have proven that the earth is round. Once you know it's round, you cannot go back to believing the earth is flat anymore. Because you got wisdom, you got the right knowledge of the truth. So once you know that your suffering is caused by your cravings, you don't go back to have any craving anymore. You don't want to have any suffering.
so initially there was pure chitta and then it started to develop craving and that's why it became impure.
No, there was never a pure chitta. They are just what we call original chitta. The chitta that is temporarily pure by being calm with mindfulness, such as in jhana. These are considered to be original citta. When they're not working, they're not functioning, we call this original citta. But they have impurity hidden in this original citta. When they come out of this state of calm, the impurity start to work again.
Is it possible to combine our Dhamma knowledge in our work? For example, I'm studying to become a psychotherapist. Is it possible, what do you think, to combine these two approaches to help people, or Dhamma should be very separate from all the lay occupations?
Well, some parts of Dhamma you can apply in your worldly activity, like being kind, being honest, being helpful, being nice, and be diligent, not lazy. These are Dhamma teaching also. So you can use the sila to apply in your worldly activities. And you keep the precepts. You don't kill, you don't steal, you don't cheat, you don't lie. You don't commit adultery. You don't take drugs or alcohol. This is the teaching of Dhamma also. You can apply to assist your worldly activity.
Mm-hmm. And what can we do? Like now there are many wars in the world. Do you think that it is possible for people to develop consciousness to such level that wars won't happen?
Can you repeat the question again?
Now lots of wars, military conflicts are happening in the world. Do you think it is possible, like using Dhamma, to develop our minds to such an extent that people won't have this kind of conflicts?
If everybody becomes enlightened, then there won't be any conflicts. The conflicts are caused by our cravings. We want this and we want that, and the other people want the same thing. So we end up fighting against each other to get the same thing that we want. But if we don't want anything in this world, then there will be no fighting.
The nature of chitta is knowing, but what is it knowing? It means you can get access to any knowledge, like perceive the minds of other people, or what does it mean that it is knowing?
It's just a function or ability that no other thing in this world have. The camera doesn't know, your body doesn't know, the tree doesn't know. It's the knowing element that's the one that knows. So that's what makes us know everything, because we have the knowing ability. If we don't have the knowing ability, we'll be just like the tree. The tree won't know anything. We have about a few more minutes left, so do you have any more questions you want to ask?
One person was asking, when you become arahant, do you still have some interest in the world? And what do arahants usually do? They just give teaching, or they have some other activities?
Usually they just give teaching, or then they meditate. They find peace from meditation. Then finding peace from following the events in the world. The events in the world are always harmful to the mind. It can cause you anxiousness, worry, and anxiety. So usually an arahant doesn't follow what's happening in the world. But they can follow, but they just for the sake of knowing, that's all. But they don't get involved and become emotional with what's happening.
And one person said, like in some circles, they believe, for example, when you sit in meditation, if you have pain in your legs, it means this is the karma from hell. And when you're meditating and you feel pain, so this karma gets burned. Is it true that some karma can be stored in our body?
No, it's just part of the body, the nature of the body to get painful feeling. Regardless of whether you have many bad karma or not, you have the same painful feeling. The Buddha's body still have painful feeling, even after his enlightenment. Okay.
I think the questions are finished. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your question.
Thank you very much.
Okay.